Alright, so I am using shimmery white again. Also cut 5.5 by 8.5, and I will trim it down after I stamp it. Pick up my stamp, and just like I did for the butterflies, I'm going to ink it with my Sahara sand. Bring in some scrap computer paper. Take off that extra ink because I just want to have a light image so I know where the lines are and where I want the color to go. Remember, do not take your stamps off until after you have done your chalking because you need it to line up directly on top again, okay? So I'm going to do something a little bit different. The cards I did earlier today, using this stamp set, I did exactly the same as I just showed you with the butterflies, where I added my colors specifically, like green for the leaves, yellow and red for the flowers. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm going to take my chalks and I'm just going to randomly scribble them all over. This is going to be one of those lickety split super fast cards when you want to make something really fast but really pretty. And maybe if you need to make a whole bunch of cards and you need to mass produce a whole bunch, this would be a great fun fast technique. Okay, so I'm just pulling in some colors, pulling in some greens, which I don't think I remembered to use on my butterflies, and I do love my greens. Love my greens and purples and blues and pinks. I love those colors. So again, it's looking like a mess, right? Well, hopefully it won't look like a mess when we stamp on top. I can't guarantee it, but I think this is going to look really cool. And if it does, then this is one of those techniques that will work really well on a Friday night when you're drinking wine and maybe you have too much wine. This is going to come out great, right? Definitely a technique to have in your back pocket. So again, you can use the sponge dauber and blend those chalks in, or you could use your finger, just go right on top, but you do want to blend the chalks in. Okay? Blend them in. Blow it off. And again, if you want more color, like a specific color, just go back in and add more of that color. Okay? And this time, I don't think I'm going to blend because I do want some of that color to stand out a little bit darker. And I think I want a bit more red up here. That I do want to blend in. So you just play around with it until you're happy with it. All right, now the magical part. I'm pulling in my early espresso, blow off the excess chalk there. Let's see what happens. That is beautiful. That is so vintagey looking. I love it. Want to get that good and dark. That is really pretty. What a fun, quick background, right? So now let me show you what we're going to do with that. We're going to take this off. I will clean that later. And I'm going to trim this up. And I'm going to trim it to 4 by 5 1/4. So I will lose some of the edging. That's okay. There we go. Okay, so this measures 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to put that onto my early espresso card base. All right, I need a sentiment. I'm out of sentiments here, so I tend to stamp and emboss a whole bunch of sentiments sometimes because then I've got them. I'm going to set this aside. I'm bringing this back in. So I have a scrap piece of my shimmery white. I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to bring in my computer paper. And I want to get that center flower. So I'm just going to line this up. I'm going to stamp it real light. And I did jiggle it. So that may or may not be lined up. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to grab my chalks. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in some yellow. And let's just do some crazy different colors. Put some blue in there. Let's put some red. And what else? A little bit of purple. My flower, my colors. I'm gonna be crazy. All right, and I'm gonna take my finger, rub that around. So you just obviously keep playing with it until you're happy with it. And I lost some of my blue, so I'm going to add some blue. Some more purple. Okay, now this time, I'm not going to blend this. I am just going to leave those colors alone, sitting right on top. Blow the excess away. Ink up center flower, stamp it down, and I'm going to repeat that. See? So cool. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this out. Isn't that beautiful? Now, if I wanted to, I could just cover that whole thing with First & Mark ink pad and emboss it in clear. But because this has a vintagey vibe to it, to me, I don't want shine. I want to keep it matte. So I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, I'm not sure where my Stampin' Dimensionals are, so I'm just going to cut a piece of our Stampin' Foam tape here. And then just position this right on top in the center. And of course, all the colors coordinate with all the chalks I used in the background. Now, let's grab my sentiment, which is missing in action, of course, as happens when you get crazy crafting and you can't find anything on your stamp desk. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna trim this out. Okay, so I could just go ahead and glue this right onto the card because again, you may be wanting to make a quick card, and if that's the case, you just simply glue that on or up here. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this yet, but I do know I have some butterflies and I want to put a butterfly on my card. So I have to determine which butterfly I want to put on my card. I might do this little guy. This one's too close to the size of the flower. It's going to take away. So we definitely need a smaller butterfly. I'm thinking that one. So I'm going to add some glue. Stick my butterfly down. Okay, now remember that butterfly was embossed, so there is going to be a bit of shine, but not too much on this card. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue. Bring in my pebble embellishment and bring in one of my dots. And then I will color, whoops, okay, get some of that glue off. Okay, so now I'm going to color my pebble black. And I think I'm actually going to glue this right down here. I don't want to pop this up. My butterfly and my flower are both giving dimension to this card. So I'm just going to pop this on just here, flush with the edge of the card. And then I want to add a gem to the center of my flower. And I'm just going to use a big old shiny rhinestone. Just going to put that right there. And that's my finished card. Really simple, really pretty. Even without the butterfly, this is pretty on its own, I think. Now, I'm going to show you the card I made earlier today where I was much more specific where I put my colors on this stamp image the same way I was with the butterflies. And look at that. I could not have combined this in this video with the butterfly and not have this video an hour long. But you know how I added those colors. I just used the chalks directly on top, put blue in between, smudged it in a little bit. I was a lot more careful about where I put yellow and red. The butterflies were done exactly the same that I showed you earlier. Same stamped images, but I cut up my sentiment. So this is made using the exact same products. The pastels, the cardstock, everything. Same technique, 2 different results, but so pretty. This is a super fun technique, really great way to use your pastel chalks and your stamps. Look at your stamps. There's so many different stamp sets you can use using this technique. And just have fun, just have fun. You'll see also in this one, I got a little crazy with the gems. I added lots of gems. It was the mood I was in. And I love that. I love how you can create just based on your mood and based on the supplies you have, and just have a great time making them. I hope you enjoyed today's video, maybe learned something new or a fun different way to use your Stampin' supplies such as our pastels, maybe differently, or just reminding you again of some of the ways that we can use this product. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I'm so grateful to all of you who watch my videos. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it so you're notified every time I upload a new video, and that really helps my channel, as do your comments. So feel free to leave a comment down below. I love reading them. Take care and happy stamping.